Good morning and welcome to Unitarian Universalist Wellesley Hills. Please join in singing our opening hymn this morning, number 29 in the gray hymnal, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to UU Wellesley Hills. I am the Reverend Mark Roble. I am the senior minister here. What a nice crowd here. Everyone's smiling. Today is a really special Sunday. We are doing our no-rehearse paper bag Christmas pageant today. And if you remember last year, it was a lot of fun. It makes me very nervous, though, that we're not rehearsing. I'm just handing out bags to people, but we'll have a lot of fun. So here at UU Wellesley Hills, we are an open and affirming congregation, which means for us it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how you dress, it doesn't matter whom you love, it doesn't matter if you're gay or you're straight or you're bi or you're trans, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim or an atheist or a humanist. What matters to us here is that we are here together supporting and loving each other. The one thing that I know about this congregation is that when I fall, when any of us fall, there will always be a hand. Here, let me help you get up. And I am eternally grateful for that. So regardless of where you might be on your own personal spiritual journey, however you may or may not define the holy, we are thrilled that you're here. Here at UU Wellesley Hills, our only creed is love, and our religious practice is love. So, welcome to UU Wellesley Hills. Let's try that one more time. That was okay. So, welcome to UU Wellesley Hills. we are joyfully called to worship this morning. So now, as we do every single Sunday, first, is there anyone new here? Raise your hand. You can raise it a little bit if you're a little shy. Anybody for the first time? Welcome, welcome. Now let's turn to our side camera as we do every Sunday and wave to the folks in our online pews. Now let's turn to each other and offer each other peace and goodwill in this season. All right, I have a couple of announcements this morning. First of all, today at 4 o'clock, we're going to have caroling at the clock tower next door. So if you're around at 4 o'clock, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. We'll meet at the steps in the clock tower and sing a couple of Christmas carols to get us revved up for this coming week. We are doing a family and children's Christmas service Wednesday, Christmas Eve at 4 o'clock in the chapel. Lighthearted Christmas songs, just a fun service for the younger ones. And then our Christmas Eve candlelight service is at 5 o'clock here in the sanctuary. Next Sunday, the 28th, there will be no service here in the sanctuary. The service will be a low-key, quiet, contemplative service in the chapel. Naomi Cameron, a summer-like service. Naomi Cameron will be doing the service. So remember, next Sunday in the chapel. And the last thing that I would like to say a couple words about is, I know many of you were quite shocked last Sunday when you came in and saw the stage build out in Parish Hall. I heard from several people like, what's going on here? What are they doing? Well, I had a lovely, lovely conversation with the owners of the New World Opera this week. And they are producing a musical in January, and they needed additional stage area. That stage is temporary and it's portable. It'll go up on the stage as bleachers when they need it. But there are going to be times where they will need to have additional staging area, and that's why that was out there. You know, folks were sort of concerned about that. And I think that the Building and Grounds Committee, all of us can do a better job with communicating what's happening with the New World Opera to keep everyone sort of updated and knowing what's going on. They're a wonderful group of folks. They fit in with who we are. They fit in with our mission. So about monthly, we're going to do an update in the newsletter so that you know, oh, the New World Opera is having a musical on January 11th, I believe it is, and it's free. So folks, so we keep you up to date with what's happening with them, okay?
And now, as we deepen into worship, we light our chalice. The flaming chalice is not only a shining symbol of our Unitarian Universalist commitment to religious pluralism and humanitarian principles, but it's also a much-needed light shining into our world, a beacon against the force of darkness. We light it on our altar each Sunday. If you are watching from home and have a chalice on hand, you may want to light yours now. The words of our chalice lighting are spoken in unison. You will find the words printed in your order of service or appearing on your screen. Please join me in saying them as Reverend Mark lights our chalice this morning. This Sunday, you'll notice the words are different from our typical chalice lighting words. Today, we light our chalice in celebration of the joy of our lives.
Those words never made it into the order of service.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing the typical words.
Okay. So do I read it? Okay. Here we go. We light the chalice. We light the chalice.
Sorry, Fred, I forgot to mention that to you. Now for a story for all ages, I'd like to invite young at heart, anyone who'd like to come up and sit on the steps with us while we do our story for all ages. Come on up, folks. Yay! The sheep is later. Okay. So welcome, everyone. You know, we've been talking about light recently. We just are celebrating the holiday of light, where you light candles, where the oil lamps stay lit for 8 additional days. We're talking about the birth of light in the form of a child into the world. And actually today, the days start to get longer. We have more and more light today. Yay! So today, I'm going to talk about light bulbs. Who knows what light bulbs are? Anybody know? So, a long time ago, a boy named Louis Latimer, he didn't grow up with hardly anything. His parents escaped slavery and came north. He didn't go to good schools, but he got a good education, and he was really curious, and he loved to draw. He even joined the army. He didn't tell the truth when he was 16 years old, so he could fight in the Civil War. So when he came home, he found a job at a law office that worked with inventions, that made things up. First, he was just an office boy, and then he would sweep and mop the floors, but he got so good at drawing that they promoted him to head draft person. But he still made a lot less money than the white people because he was dark-skinned. He was an African American. One day, Lewis actually helped Alexander Graham Bell design the telephone. Later, he actually worked with Thomas Edison on developing the light bulb. See, Edison, his light bulb only lasted 2 days. That's not very helpful, a 2-day light bulb. But Lewis Latimer figured out the filaments to make the light bulb last a long, long time. But what's really important and interesting is this never made it into the history books. No one knows about Lewis Latimer because he was black, because his skin color was different than many of us. So this is an important story, and he actually went on to start the first Unitarian church in Flushing, New York. They even have a picture of him in the sanctuary at Flushing. So the point of this story is that we all have light in us. We all have light that gives us hope, but sometimes we have to find the switch. Sometimes we have to click on the switch, right? So that the world could see our light and the world could see our hope. Okay? So this is a good story for this time of the year. And happy solstice to everyone. The end. And now for our words of offering, Ann Laura.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the illuminating story. Thank you for the illuminating story. This week's collection will help further the mission of Family Promise Metro West to strengthen housing security for local families with children. Last year, in the national affordable housing crisis, Massachusetts homelessness surged 74% to 5th in the nation and nearly doubled the national increase of 39%. In response, Family Promise expanded rental assistance, partnered with developers on affordable housing, advocated for zoning reforms, and launched pilot programs with municipalities and local businesses that further pair housing with case management. They served over 228 children and 205 adults through their 4 programs, including the shelter program and their program that helps to keep families in their current housing. Last year's growth in the number of families served by Family Promise outpaced their growth in staff and budget. Please help continue our long-time collaboration with this impactful organization. Our support helps them build housing security with long-term stabilization for local families. You can make your donation electronically or place it in the plate when it passes. If you want to make an online payment, visit our online giving page on our website. Once there, be sure that plate collection is selected from the drop-down menu. If you write a check, please remember to put FPM on the memo line. Thank you.
Thank you. We open our circle of care and concern this morning with these words from Elizabeth Mount. Beautiful Mother of Creation, you who imbue every facet of this universe with the spark of all being, teach us to find joy. Help us to open our hearts wide enough to let in the wonders of miracles, the anguish of suffering, the blessings of compassion, the beauty of truth. Help us to know that our hearts and our fists are of the same size, that the work of our hands must always be guided by the love of our hearts, to not only speak truth in all the halls of power, but to sing out for the joy of change and of justice. In the true belief that someday this world can become a beloved community that holds us all in care, this is the joyful song of our heart. With these words now in our heart and in our minds, let us reflect with a moment of silence. And may it be so. Now I'd like to invite all who wish to come forward and light a candle of intention. And if you're comfortable, please let us know what person or place this intention is for, and we will carry them in our hearts. Those of you in our online pews, please type your joy or concern in the comments section, and we will carry your intention in our hearts. Please come down the center aisle, light a candle, and return by the side aisle. So let us begin.
For Peter.
I light this candle for Keon. This is not an individual I knew personally, but somebody who had a very positive impact on the trajectory of my brother's life in the brief time that they were able to know each other. Some of you may remember my brother playing piano in a service in October. Keon, we just found out, passed away earlier this December, and I pray for his soul and for peace and reconciliation for his family.
I light a candle of gratitude for all of the new loved ones that I've met since moving here.
We light our candles for my Aunt Marie and Uncle Tom.
My brother Tom.
My Aunt Marie passed away a year ago yesterday. We light that in her honor. We miss her, yeah, right, Ava. Thank you.
So I light my candle for my mom because she is about to host Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then the next day, the girl's birthday. So really thankful to her. And then Charlotte and Penelope wanted to light a candle for everybody in the world.
I'd like to light a special candle today for Britta Zeker. I got an email from her the other day, and her brother Eric committed suicide last week. And she asked me to light a candle and just to say a couple of words and to remember their family and keep their family in your hearts. We honor all of these intentions in this community. Along with these, we know are certain sorrows that remain private this hour. But those too have a rightful place here with us. So this morning, we honor all of these with light. We light this candle for our families, our beloved, our friends, for all of our relations, for those who are near and for those for whom we feel an unwanted distance, for the newborn, for all the wounded children. May this candle inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse. May its radiance pour out upon our hearts and spread light into the darkest corners of our world. Now please join in singing Comfort Me, number 1002 in the Teal hymnal, and we will sing the first verse. So it's almost time for our no-rehearse Christmas pageant, Christmas paper bag pageant. For those of you who know your roles, you might want to put your cape or scarf or halo or wings on now as we stand and as we are able and sing O Come, Emmanuel, found in your insert. And Fred and I will be setting up some chairs in the front while we all sing. Each year, we retell the story of Jesus' birth. This morning, I invite you to hear this ancient, familiar story once again. The story of a baby born in a stable. The story of shepherds and wise people. The story of angels and a shining star. Many of you, we hope, will take part in telling this story. You will help us to experience this old story in a new way this morning, as if it were happening for the first time, right here, right now, in front of our eyes. Fred, Olivia, and I will narrate the story, and we will tell you when it's your turn to come forward. Don't worry about doing things right or making mistakes, because there are no mistakes this morning. That's the most important part of the directions. There are no mistakes today. There is only us telling the story of the birth of a little baby named Jesus, who was born in a very unexpected place and grew up to have a hard and important life, and whose teachings were all about love. Inclusive, accepting, challenging love. And these teachings about love are so powerful that we are still teaching them to this day. That's the true Christmas miracle. There is only us bringing the story of that baby's birth joyfully and messily and chaotically into life. And joyful and messy and chaotic is how new life usually comes into being. Unexpected things happen, and new life does not always or even usually go according to our plans. And it also does not always look like we expect it. So that is exactly how it should be here this morning. So if Mary and Joseph and their donkey will go to the back of the sanctuary, and a certain Roman empress named Olivia Augustus, who is the little-known daughter of Caesar Augustus, will begin our story.
A long time ago, in a place called Palestine, the Roman Empire ruled the land, and everyone had to do what the empress, that's me, told them to do, whether they liked it or not, even if that meant people had to travel a long way to give me money. And that's exactly what happened. In those days, a decree went out from Empress Olivia Augustus, that's me again, and here is what it said. All the world should be registered so that they can pay their church pledges, taxes, to me.
So, all the people had to go to the city or town where they had been born to register. For some people, that meant a very long and hard journey. Joseph, a carpenter, and Mary, the woman to whom he was engaged to be married, lived in the town of Nazareth, and they had to go a long way, a ridiculously long way, to the town of Bethlehem. Mary and Joseph and donkey will begin your long, slow journey along Route 9 from Needham to Wellesley. I really mean from Nazareth to Bethlehem, up the center of the aisle now.
And here come Mary and Joseph and the donkey.
Mary and Joseph traveled from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Bethlehem in Judea. Mary was about to have a baby, and she was tired and very uncomfortable. Walking was hard, and riding on the donkey wasn't much better. But there was nothing that could be done about it. They had to go. So they traveled slowly, sometimes even walking through the dark nights, which were lit only by bright stars. We need some bright stars now. Are there any bright sparks in the house this morning? Turn your flashlights on in your mobile phones and wave your bright stars from the seat. There we go.
Bright
Some more stars,
lights.
some
There
more
we
stars.
go. When Mary and Joseph finally arrived in Bethlehem, They went to the inn in Bethlehem and knocked on the door. Innkeeper, would you come up front and answer the door? So we have the innkeeper and his wife.
Sorry, my rooms are full. There's no room for you here.
Bethlehem was crowded, full of people who had come to be registered for the congregational meeting. Sorry, I mean census. So all the rooms at the inn were already taken. But the innkeeper saw how tired they were and how very pregnant Mary was and felt sorry about turning them away. So the innkeeper, who was a kind person, had a sudden change of heart and told them that they could stay in the stable behind the inn.
We changed our minds. You can stay in the stable behind the inn. It isn't much and the animals are out there because, well, it's a stable. But it's warm and there's room to rest, and we can at least bring you some food out there.
Innkeeper, would you lead Mary and Joseph and their donkey to the stable while we sing, O Little Town of Bethlehem, found in your insert?
Want to sit on the steps? Now, as the innkeeper had said, the stable was just a small barn. And like most stables, it had animals in it. The innkeeper kept a donkey there, and a milk cow, and a pig, and a small flock of chickens, and maybe there was a beautiful barn cat or two, and a beautiful dog. So will any animals come up and gather at the stable? Anyone who'd like to be an animal? You can crawl, or you can slither, or you can hop, or you can fly, depending on what kind of animal you are this morning. You don't need a costume. Anyone can come up. There's plenty of room up here. And if you're a very shy small animal, maybe one of the grown-up animals can come up with you.
The animals welcomed Mary and Joseph and were even kind enough to give up their hay-filled manger or feeding trough so the baby could have a bed. As soon as Mary and Joseph got settled in, it became very clear that it was time for the baby to be born. While the baby is being born, let's stand and join in singing Away in a Manger, found in your insert.
No, you go. Yeah. No, you stay seated.
This mic is, oh, great, okay. Thus Mary gave birth to a son in a simple stable, surrounded by animals. Joseph and Mary wrapped their baby warmly and they named him Jesus because Joseph had a dream that Jesus should be the baby's name. The animals welcomed the baby by making all their animal noises for him, but gently, so that they wouldn't scare him. Animals, would you make your noises for baby Jesus? Now in that region, there were shepherds living in the hills, keeping watch over their flocks by night. They were high up in the Wellesley Hills, keeping their sheep safe on a dark and quiet night. Now we need shepherds. Will all the shepherds please gather at the back of the sanctuary? Shepherds, bring your crooks if you have them. Let's stand and sing the first Noel while the shepherds make their way to the hills, halfway down the aisle. The words are in your order of service.
While the shepherds were watching their flock by night, suddenly an angel stood before them. Gabriel the angel is coming up the aisle. The angel stood before them, and a great light shone all around them, and the shepherds were so afraid. But the angel said to them,
So the shepherds said to one another, "We have no weekly update to find out what is happening. So let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place." So the shepherds went quickly to Bethlehem, bringing along their sheep, and the angels gathered in the sky around the stable to help light the way. So while all the angels and shepherds and sheep and border collies come to Bethlehem, let's stand and join in singing "Angels We Have Heard on High." The words are in your insert.
When they got to the stable in Bethlehem, the shepherds and their sheep found Mary and Joseph and the baby laying in the manger, just as the angel Gabriel had told them. When the shepherds saw this, they told everyone what the angel had said to them about the newborn baby, and everyone who heard the story was amazed. But Mary kept all these things and treasured them in her heart. And the shepherds also gathered around the manger, glorifying and praising God for all the wonders that they heard and seen. And the sheep gathered too and gently baaed for the baby because they were so happy. Sheep in the audience, would you baa now for baby Jesus? After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, 3 wise persons who were kings and queens from the Far East came to Jerusalem, traveling on camels. Will the wise persons go to the back of the sanctuary now? Don't forget to bring your gifts. What happened was that the wise persons had learned about a prophecy, a prediction that the Messiah, the anointed one, the king of the Jewish people, would be born in Bethlehem. So the wise persons set out with their camels on a long, difficult journey to Bethlehem, following the brightest star in the sky, and bearing special and beautiful gifts for the baby because they wanted to honor him as the new king. So let's stand and join in singing "We Three Kings" found in your insert, while the wise persons and camels make their way to Bethlehem. When the wise persons finally found the baby in the stable, they were overwhelmed with joy. There they saw the child with his parents, and they knelt down to honor him. And they opened their bags and brought out their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Gifts? Now we have gathered everyone together who is part of this story. Come on in around, come on in. Let's pause for a moment and just look. Look at the shining stars and the angels. Look at the shepherds and the sheep and the wise persons and the camels and the animals here together this morning. Look at the parents and their baby. This story is about hope and new life. It's a story about love and mystery and wonder, and it's all here. Look, it's all still here. As we end our pageant this morning, let's all rise as we are able and sing our closing hymn, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, in your insert. As we sing, everyone can make your way carefully back to your seat while we're singing, and we ask that you leave your costumes in the bags in the pews. So let's stand and sing together, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. We have to work on that ending a little bit. Everyone's scrambling to try to get back.
Now that our celebration is Now that our celebration is concluding this morning, we extinguish our chalice. Our closing words are spoken in unison. You will find them printed in your order of service or appearing on your screen. Extinguishing this flame which has burned bright in our midst, we revere what has been kindled within each of us. Warmth in community, the light of truth, and a perpetual spark of hope.
Beloved ones, may love guide you on your journey forward. Joy meet you at every turn, and hope be your daily practice. May gratitude companion you, compassion embolden you, and open-hearted courage be your never-ending choice. May peace challenge you, generosity empower you, and may you know in every day that you are enough just exactly as you are, and that you are not alone. Blessed be, and amen. Our service has ended. Go in peace and return again with great joy.